I'm Susan Doherty, and this is 6-Minute Style. This week, it's all about salt, table salt, sea salt, kosher salt. We're gonna clear up the misconceptions and tell you what's what. We're gonna walk you through the wonderful world of Himalayan, red, black, Hawaiian sea salt. You're gonna love this. We're gonna throw in a few recipes. Stick around, we will be right back. So what is sea salt and how does it differ from table salt and kosher salt? Well, technically and chemically speaking, there's not a huge difference. Salt is salt is salt. It's about 97.5% sodium chloride. What is different is the processing and the resulting flavor, taste, and texture. Now let's take a look at table salt. This is the stuff we all grew up with. You remember the cute girl with the umbrella? Morton's. I'll turn it around so we get it correctly on camera there. Table salt is very uniform, it's always white, it's very pure. It is mined from underground salt deposits, often has iodine added. Table salt, most often used for baking. It's small, it's uniform, it dissolves quickly. You don't end up with lumps in your cakes and cookies, not a bad thing. So keep that in mind, baking, table salt. If we're talking kosher salt, we'll pull this up. Again, the little girl with the umbrella, but kosher salt is actually used in the koshering process, so that's where it gets its name, kosher salt. It's more granular, it's a little bit larger, and not quite as uniform. Cooks love kosher salt because it's a great flavor. It doesn't lose its flavor in cooking as sea salt does. We'll talk a little bit more about that. It dissolves well. Again, for cooking, kosher salt; for baking, table salt. So now, sea salt. Sea salt actually comes from the sea. The water evaporates, you get salt deposits on the seashore. Oftentimes it is hand harvested, and you'll find different colors because the land has a lot of minerals in it, the water has different nutrients in it. Those come together and you end up with these very cool tasting, very cool looking sea salts. We're gonna show you some of our favorites right now. All right, so let's start with Celtic sea salt. I think for me, being of Irish lineage, this is a great place to start. Celtic sea salt, a little bit gray in color, larger chunks, kind of grainy, a strong flavor. One of my favorite ways to serve this is to melt butter, add in this, flavor it up, see how you like it. I actually like it pretty strong, and then serve it with crab legs. It's absolutely delicious. That's my recommendation for this. Now I'm gonna show you the Hawaiian sea salts. These are beautiful. Look at this black, served in a white bowl. Imagine this on your tabletop. Your guests will be quite impressed. Black sea salt from Hawaii, also a red sea salt. I like the packaging here. I'm gonna pour this out into my hand. I just used this red one the other night. This is a little bit milder than the Celtic sea salt, but it's still a strong, pungent flavor. I served this with edamame, and I'm gonna show you a little recipe a little bit later on with olive oil, so you can flavor the olive oil with the Hawaiian sea salts. And again, if nothing else, these are just gorgeous on your tabletop. We'll put that back, get it off of my hand. Now I want to show you one of the most popular sea salts available on the market today. This is the Maldon. Maldon comes from the coast of England. This is a sea salt that oftentimes is not available. So when you can find it, buy it. It's something good you'll want to have in your pantry at all times. Our production assistant Lucy loves this. She says she tosses it on salads. It's a very fine flavor. It's very delicate crystals. I'll show you that. You can actually crush these right under your fingers. So if you have a very strong food and you want a strong companion piece, this is probably not the salt to use. But again, for fresh vegetables, lightly grilled or steamed or salad, Maldon, probably the way to go. Now, one last sea salt I want to show you that's super cool is the Himalaya Salt Zen Cube. How cool is this? This is a rose-colored quartz. It comes packaged with a stainless steel grater. The way it works is you simply grate it like you would cheese. You literally run this right across it. What you end up with are very fine, you see that, almost powdery little crystals. It's wonderful, not too strong. It's very delicate when you do that, very light. It's a nice flavor. I really like this one. I think this would be great on some fish. And I think another thing I wanted to point out to you, this is a great gift idea. If you have a foodie that you're looking for and you need to buy a little thank you gift or a birthday gift, something small, check this out. There's some peppercorns, the cube is in there, and a grater. And this is a wonderful little package. We'll have information on the website so you can figure out where to find this and order it up. Finally, I'm starting to see more and more flavored sea salts on the market. Check out this one. This is rosemary salt. This one I can imagine sprinkling on top of my roasted red potatoes after baking them with a little bit of olive oil. I think this would be a great flavor for that. I also found this one the other day. This is a Chardonnay oak smoked, and we tried this out. It really does have a smoky flavor, but it's subtle. It won't overpower your food, but I think it would be be great on a nice piece of fish fresh off the grill. I want to show you this one. This one's a little bit finer, but again, a smoky, and you can just get a hint of Chardonnay in there. So look in your local markets and check it out. There are so many fun sea salts right now. It's such a big business. I've had a great time sharing this with you today. We're gonna come right back with our quick tip. It's our quick recipe. Thanks so much for joining us. Go to the website, as always, at 6minutestyle.com. We'll have a couple more recipes in addition to the one we're doing now. We'll have some tips. You never know what you might find at 6minutestyle.com. Thanks for joining me. This week's quick tip, we have a sea salt flavored olive oil mixture for edamame. We love this. I'm gonna walk you through it. It's super easy. It's about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna eyeball it. You can actually measure it out if you want. I make this so often I can visualize it. So we have our olive oil. Next, we add in about a teaspoon of cumin. Just throw that in there. Get all of it. Probably my favorite seasoning in the world. About a half a teaspoon of thyme, this is dried thyme. Just toss that in. We're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna add in a little bit of crushed red pepper. Now you know how spicy you like your foods. You can flavor that as hot or not as hot as you like. We tend to like things pretty spicy in our home. So then we get that all mixed up. Again, this is super easy. That's why we can call it a quick tip. We're gonna take our edamame, add that, and just put it right in there. Tried a little bit of this edamame after we cooked it. It's super yummy, and I'm excited to eat this. I'm actually gonna get my tossers out, toss this out. One of the things I have found with this, if you let it sit for a couple of minutes, it really starts to absorb the flavor. So maybe make it a little bit ahead of time, cover it with some tin foil if you like. And then when you're ready to serve the rest of your meal, this is ready to go. Then I'm just gonna take our white plate. We'll pour this right on there. I know what you're thinking, where's the sea salt? Well, keep in mind, sea salt is a finishing ingredient. I wanna get all this yummy flavor on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop that out. Now we're gonna finish. I am using the Celtic sea salt. I mentioned this one earlier. I love this one, it's a strong flavor. You will know how much or how little you like. I actually like it kind of salty. I love the Celtic sea salt. And there you go, edamame with Celtic sea salt, yum yum. We'll see you next time on 6 Minute Style. Rosemary focaccia bread decorated with sea salt. How gorgeous is that? You can actually see the really large coarse crystals. These are caramels and bars that actually have sea salt woven right into them. This one, there is sea salt right on top. These are the caramels from Posh Chocolat, and they are making caramels with sea salt dusted on top.